Let's start verse number 10. There's a lot of things in this, I can go on for hours to talk about it, but most of this we know. It's a common sense thing. These are nothing out of the ordinary, but there is something distinguished I just wanted to highlight to bring about.
هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء لكم منه شراب ومنه شجر فيه تسيمون.
He is the one who sent down water from the heavens, of which you have your drink, and with it you grow plants on which you pasture your cattle.
ينبت لكم به الزرع والزيتون والنخيل والأعناب ومن كل الثمرات إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون.
He causes the crops therewith to grow for you, and olives, and date palms, and grapevines, and all the fruits. Surely, in that, there is a sign for a people who ponder.
So in verse 10 and 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now turning the conversation, as we could see that Allah talked about the first creation of everything, and glory be to Him, then came to the universal creation, then came talking about the livestock and the life forms, the animals, particularly named certain animals which were in use in the time of Makkah, of the revelation of the Quran, and then about all the other creation will be coming forth in the future. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 10 and 11 talking about the water cycle again. It has been mentioned multiple places, and again reminding the Meccan, because the Mecca was not a very rainy land, and water is one of the very important commodity, and always everywhere, anywhere. As we see nowadays in Pakistan, there's a flood, but then there's also water tablet level gone down. People are not saving and preserving water, which we know in the time of Queen Bilqis, the Yemenites had made the water dam where they were holding the water for the fertilizer, and they had the crops. Again, human learn from their experience, but some just do not pay attention and do not come together to do things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Huwa alladhi anzala minas samai. Allah is the one who descend water from the sky. Ma'an, water, lakum, for you, minha sharabun, from which you drink, wa minhu shajarun fihi tusimun, and again you drink, your plantation with you grow plants, and also your pasture, because once the plant grows and the pasture eats it, animal eats it, and they get life and nutrition. As we could see, the grass which is eaten, and we cannot eat grass, we don't eat grass, but similarly we eat other plants, and we eat all the vegetables, but we don't eat grass, commonly speaking, as a human food. But all the pasteurizing or grazing animals, they eat grass, and we don't even know why they choose that. It tastes them good, it gives them nutrition, or they have the wisdom of doing that. But then they get energy from that, and then they grow from it. And we use their skin, we use their hair, we use their flesh, we use them for the ride, we use them for the other purposes, and we also consider them as a place of honor. Something very interesting about horses is still horses are bought and kept by richest people, the billionaires, the multi-billionaires. They are the only one who owns big horses, livestock, and they are valued. They are still considered a symbol of wealth. As we know, Aga Khan, who is the spiritual leader of one of the Muslim group of Ismailis, which are again a sect of Muslims, and he is one of the richest owner of the horses, and we could see that this is being practiced across the globe, and it's still majority of the world which is not using cities and villages which are not having roads. They can't ride on those cars or on the trucks. They have to use the livestock. So they are never going to be obsolete, what I'm trying to say. And then further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now coming back to, after talking from the creation of everything, coming down to the earthly matter and then to the water cycle. And now Allah ta'ala is going to talk again about you could see this, how the wave of this discussion and conversation goes. Listen to this beautiful verse that Allah says, I made all of this for you, and I made you for me. And if you could understand, in essence, this is what Allah's message is, that everything is created for mankind, because man is known to be the last creature by Allah has created for our knowledge, and then everything was created before. The resident come after when the house is made. So earth was made as a house, universe was made for the home, and then human were sent to appreciate and understand God from the science. There's no sign God left to that man could not know. And then he told the mankind, there's obvious open enemy of you, so watch out this enemy, rest of everything is for you. So listen to the verse number 12.
وسخر لكم الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بأمره إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون.
He has subjugated for you the day and the night, and the sun and the moon and the stars, too, are subservient by his command. Surely, in that, there are signs for a people who understand.
So verse number 12 has so much into it. It's almost like we can talk about the entire creation. He created night and day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to put night before the day, and that night is for the rest and day is for the seeking the blessing of Allah and to be human, to survive our existence on this planet. And the sun, and created Shams, the stars, and all the galaxies, and Qamar and the moon, which are the planets, which is circulating around the planet, where being, as we know, many planets have their small rotating planets, which are known as moons, which get a light on the planet reflecting from the sun. وَالنُّجُومُ, and the stars and the galaxies, مُسَخِّرَاتُ بِأَمْرِي, they are subjected for you. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Indeed, there are signs for... All right. وَمَا زَرَعَ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُخْتَلِفَ أَلْوَانُهُ. And now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is turning, you see, the beauty is that it's talk about the stars, the galaxies, and all those creation, which we are going to see more with the Webb telescope, and what we saw from the other one. And now the humanity is exploring everything around us, and this is amazing knowledge which we're coming. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, all this is subjected to your service. And then you have these signs for me. People see God in Allah. Allah says, you cannot find me in myself, you'll be lost, because Allah is not a matter and material in existence. Allah is not comprehensible by our ability of five senses which are given to us. Allah is beyond that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made these creation around us before our creation, so that we could appreciate and comprehend. Let's listen to the verse number 13.
وما ذرأ لكم في الأرض مختلفا ألوانه إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يذكرون.
And he subjugated to you whatever he created for you on the earth, having varied colors. Surely, in that, there is a sign for a people who accept advice.
وهو الذي سخر البحر لتأكلوا منه لحما طريا وتستخرجوا منه حلية تلبسونها وترى الفلك مواخر فيه ولتبتغوا من فضله ولعلكم تشكرون.
He is the one who has subjugated the sea, so that you may eat fresh meat from it, and may take out from it ornaments you wear. And you see the boats cleaving through it, and so that you may seek his bounty, and that you may be grateful.
Verse number 13, there's something little technical to talk about. Allah says, وَمَا زَرَعَ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُخْتَلِفًا أَلْوَانُهُ. He is the one who created for you on the earth having varied colors. As we know, if you put on the same earth, same water, a seed of different kind of fruits or vegetables or whatever, and it comes out with a similar source of nutrients, it does not change to be one. Each one of them have a different color, different taste, different benefit, different nutrient value. Some have more C, some have more D, some have more A, some have less of others, B complex and whatnot. and some have folic acid. Those are the vitamins which we need. They all come from the earth. And then they have the sweet and sugar in it, which is also sucrose or fructose, is the source of fruits from those. And those fruits also have different color of benefit, and before they become fruit, it become flower, and that there's a bud on it. This is somehow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that we created all these different color. So this is what the beauty of creation, and now the science has given us knowledge that we can change the color of the inside or outside of the fruit by tinkering or playing with the genes of the fruit or the plant. And now they are making genetically modified GMO food, which is making them last longer on the shelf life. So all these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we gave you, and we gave you intelligence to play with these products so that it could be better for you. Inna fi dhalika laayatin liqawmin yatadhakkarun. Indeed, there is a sign for the nations who reflect and accept the advice or remember or ponder over it. And then next verse is very interesting, verse number 14. هو الذي سخر البحر لتأكلوا منه لحما طريا. He is the one who subjugated the oceans and seas so that you may eat fresh meat from it, because the fish is reference to here. لحما طريا وتستخرجوا minhu hilyatan, and then from that what comes the ornaments, which is the pearls. And again, there's a lot more, and you wear it for your ornaments or what you call the jewelry. وَتَرَى الْفُلْكَ, and you float the boats, which is again boats, and مَوَاخِرْ فِيهِ لِتَبْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may seek the bounties of your God. So now those people still, we know those who do the fishing or those who do the pearls and all that, they still use the sailboats, and people use motorboat also, but the sailboats are used again. What we call the pearls are taken out from the ocean. Accordingly, there's kind of a drop goes in there, and whatever happens, and it becomes a pearl because multiple layers happen. It opens itself only for the rain and whatnot. So again, there's a lot of theories about it. But the other important thing is with the fish. I wanted to talk about that fish. With the fish, all the oceanic creature which has a scale and gills are halal for the Muslims. Now, Prophet says, even if they, Sharia says, when the fish is alive, you can fish it without slaughtering, saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar, you can eat it. And if a fish which came out of the ocean and died on the ground, you can eat that. But the fish, when it is dead in the ocean, which, how do we know that fish is a dead fish? When it flips over its belly and floats. That fish we should not eat, because that is considered to be dead because of whatever reason. Infection is most likely caused. So Muslims are told not to eat those fish, which is considered not allowed. But if a fish came out of the shore of the water and could not get back into water and died, that could be eaten. This is something to understand. But if the fish fell over belly, that's not to be eaten. This is just as a knowledge. And all the creatures in the oceans are allowed, which means fishes with the scales. Accordingly, Muslims can eat whale, even though it's a mammal. Again, it has to breathe on that. This is a scholarship. Shrimps are not considered because they're considered bottom feeders, scavengers. Crabs are not preferred. It is considered makruh among Muslims. Again, what is the reason? It's probably not the most nutritious food. As we know, the fish is supposed to be good for the human body and health. What else? The other creatures which are in the ocean or on the earth, they have to be slaughtered in other ways. So, to my knowledge, whatever I know, I just shared with you. Inshallah, Allah will guide us further. Let's listen to the verse number 15.
وألقى في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بكم وأنهارا وسبلا لعلكم تهتدون.
And he placed mountains on the earth, lest it should shake with you, and rivers and tracks, so that you may find the right way.
وعلى.
Now, verse number 15 again has been mentioned in other places also, and Allah has mentioned in many times about the mountains. They are placed like pegs like this on the ground. So what happened is the earth burst open, the what you call the lava or inner side came in, so it just settled down and become like a peg. And this is where it is done so that earth will stay balanced according to Islamic. So when the mountain is coming down, so that the earth was shaky without the mountains, so human could not walk on it properly. So before human were brought into the earth was made stable and grounded. This may be before any creature was created on the earth. So this is one of the sign. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we have placed mountain on earth, it should not shake with you, and river and tracks, so that you may find the way. River was one way to travel from north to south or south to against the stream or with the winds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that this all environment created around you was for you, O mankind. So worship me, nothing else beside me. Let's listen.
And he has set landmarks, and by the stars they find the right way. Is then the one who creates everything equal to one who does not create? Would you still pay no heed?
وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ.
If you count the bounties of Allah, you cannot count them all. Surely Allah is most forgiving, very merciful.
وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 16 it says وَعَلَمَاتٍ, and then he made the landmarks. وَبِالنُّجُومِ هُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ. As we know, whenever people all along till recent technology of the satellite came in, people used to use the star for finding path on the ground and in the ocean, and still when the navigation system fails, they use this for the guidance. أَفَمَنْ يَخْلُقُ كَمَنْ لَا يَخْلُقُ أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Is then they're the one who create everything equal to the one who does not create? In other words, the idol which these people were worshipping and thinking as they are divine, is there anyone who does that? Like these idols where they worship, they did nothing of those creation. So will you still pay no heed? Means afala tadhakkurun, do you not pay attention to these, addressing to the disbelievers or those who are not Muslims, or those who are not able to believe that God is the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is creator of everything. وَإِن تَعَدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And if you count the bounties, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا, when you do the counting, نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ, the ni'mah, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا تُحْصُوهَا, you cannot count it. If we look into this, is a very, very deep verse, and I think if we start counting, we will run out of our finding and Allah's blessing will not happen. If we just look into our own existence, our own birth, creation, and the inner body working, the organs of our body, how they work, our growth, our aging, our stopping, our living, our dying, and our nature and surrounding, these are all the ni'mah. These are all the bounties Allah has blessed us with. We will be not able to count them, and anything what we wish and what we need for 24/7 is provided to us. Inna Allaha ghafurur rahim, and Allah is all forgiving and merciful. Even though you are worshipping these false idols and false gods, and you have man-made and created deities which you are worshipping, none of this is given by them. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. This is a very powerful verse. Remember this verse 18 of the Surah Al-Nahl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that if you want to count my blessings to you, whatever we need, all of them is provided. Before our birth, God had parents. After our birth, God has parents and the families. After our growth, Allah has provided us with all the social and personal, biological, physical needs and spiritual needs. All the things, these are the innumerate. We will run out of our counting ability. We cannot finish the counting of the blessing Allah has given and created for us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, La tuhsuha. Wallahu ya'lamu ma tusiruna ma tu'linun. Indeed, Allah knows whatever you conceal, tusiruna wa la tu'linun, and whatever you reveal. So there's nothing secret or hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's listen to the verse number 19.